Good morning, good afternoon, friends, and welcome to OBC Midweek News, our first one of 2022. And a very happy new year to you all. Martin, how are you?
Yes, happy New Year to you. Yeah, I'm very well actually, and looking forward to the year ahead, and all that we are going to achieve with God's help here at OBC and through OBC in the wider world.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been an odd Christmas time, I think, for many, we've been blessed to stay open, and we're thankful that we looks like we're going to stay open as well. The government aren't closing churches down at the moment, so that's always a good thing for us. And the first service on Sunday, Martin, I have to say, was a real joy to be part of. Really stamping down our new text of the year, which you thought of. And I was going to bring it up on a screen, but the screen's not working, so I'm not doing that. We can just talk about it instead.
As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15 is the church text for the year. And I was mentioning on Sunday that a number of churches use that first Sunday of the new year as a covenant Sunday, as a recommitment Sunday, which was the kind of idea that we had about this, because it is making a covenant between you and the Lord and your house and God. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Yeah, and also I think an affirmation from us as a church of what we stand for as well, isn't it, going forward? You know, we of course as a church here want to do all we can to serve the Lord, not just here in employment, but with everyone coming in. We want to remind people the importance of serving, and we have our own vision, don't we, Martin, of how we'd like that to happen with Orpington Baptist Church, meaning different things for the OB&C. And it's important that we think of those whilst we're trying to serve the Lord in our year, isn't it? You know, the O is for outward looking. We really want to be a church that goes out and tells people the news of Jesus. Actually, we found out yesterday some wonderful news that our friend Remy is going out on a mission trip to Rwanda, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
And I hope to do the same later on this year. And it doesn't have to be as big as going to another country, of course, but we want to be outward looking. We really want to look out from just the walls within our church and tell people about the Lord.
Yeah, and B is for being biblical. And of course, you know, whatever other people and whatever other churches do at times, we want to be biblical in our thinking and in our teaching, both on a Sunday and in the week, and in our encouragement of one another to be understanding the Bible and applying it to our lives. And not only adults, but children and young people.
It reminds me of the song, actually, that we sung on Sunday, read the Bible every day, and then we try to pray. And
that's right.
Lovely. And you know what's great, since I've become a dad in these last few years, there are some fantastic resources of actually, you don't have to pick up the King James Bible and try and tell your son what it means, because there are so many different resources. I know a few months ago, Hannah read from the Rhyming Bible, which is fantastic. I often read stories to Elijah about the Rhyming Bible.
That's great.
And he really likes prayer as well, and it's just a reminder that you can make it enjoyable for children. It doesn't have to be sit around the table and concentrate and be bored for children. It can bring it to life.
Really good point.
And that was great for the song, actually, on Sunday, which Dan led us so well in. And C for contemporary and relevance.
Yeah, sometimes I think that's the most almost. People might feel it's a little bit controversial, but
maybe
to be contemporary. But it doesn't mean that we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It doesn't mean. We've had a conversation this morning with our worship leader, Dan Cleveland. What a great job he does.
Yeah, he does.
And he's been with us for about an hour as we've been talking about the direction of our worship, and using old material too, but doing it in a contemporary way, because you know, we need to be relevant to our world, to people stressed out in their lives today. If we're not relevant, then we're irrelevant. And
Absolutely.
that's not a good place to be.
And the Bible is as relevant now, if not more relevant now than it's ever been. So it's our responsibility also to let people know that, and not just of younger generations either. It's to let everyone from all ages know how the Bible is for today, and in contemporary ways. We want it to be relevant to them, whatever circumstance they're in. So we have a fantastic job of challenge of doing that consistently, and actually when it comes to worship and contemporary worship, maybe we have a huge variety. We were just talking earlier actually about the list of the 100 songs on the Song Select, which is where we get our music from, and we do really well, don't we, in actually choosing a huge variety of songs, some 70, 80 years old.
Yes.
One which we're singing this Sunday for the first time, 2 years old.
Yes.
So and everything in between. So it's great that we've got that variety, and that is really fitting with the age range that we've got in the church as well.
Yes.
Let's be honest. So outward looking, Bible based and contemporary and relevant. That's along with our church text of the year of serving the Lord. We want to do it through those channels.
That's right.
And so that's a really good opportunity for us this year, I think. After a tough year for many, that's a really great way to start the new year.
We know of quite a number of people with COVID, don't we, Phil? And,
we do.
And not least, in our own church family. Thankfully, we don't know anyone with severe symptoms.
No.
All those that have COVID within the church family are quite mild symptoms, actually, and they are isolating as they need to. But they'll be back with us soon, I'm sure. And we're really encouraged that actually this variant, in the main, for people has been mild symptoms. We know. There have been people that needed hospital care. And it's also been encouraging for me anyway, and for us, that coming to church doesn't seem to have been the place where people
it's not a trigger.
People have caught it. It's other places. Actually, coming to church, we think, is one of the safest.
Absolutely,
places to
it
be.
is. Yeah, it is. And people that haven't been to our building, it's a big building. It's got huge ceilings as well. So in terms of ventilation and so on, we feel we're in a good place to be, and definitely a very safe place to be. But if you're still watching online and that's the best place for you, then be reassured that this online ministry as you watch it now will continue. We firmly believe this wasn't part of just a pandemic for us. We want to continue along with the ministry and the church.
Amen. So it's we're a hybrid church in that way. And we were just calculating actually just before we came on the broadcast for our annual return to the Baptist Union. They ask these sort of questions to get a kind of national picture of what's happening, and we were saying they wanted to know how many people are coming in person and how many people are watching online, and we think an average of 120 to 150 in person in the church at the moment, and we looked it up, and generally about 400 people watching online through the week, not necessarily live, but through the week.
Well, that's 400 views. So actually, I think when it comes to people, that number could quite easily double. I know some people may live alone and watch it on their own, but actually in the main, it's usually couples, sometimes families. So actually from 400 views, we start to see that we're reaching an enormous amount of people, many of whom those numbers wouldn't fit in the church, quite simply. So it's a real blessing to know that this online ministry is reaching people far and wide. And as we were talking to Dan earlier, his parents would occasionally watch the service from their home in Birmingham, and then they would share it and share it and share it. So we don't know who's reaching it, but if you're watching and you don't know us, well, hello and God bless you. And get in touch if you want to know us more, and we can start to know you, because we only know the people that come into the church really, because that's how it's used to work.
And we've got to know some of those new people that have started watching online through through our courses.
We have, some real
Phil,
successful courses in the last 2 years.
and which has been great. to
Yes,
do.
and really challenging. We've come up with the idea to do our own course this time around, starting in a couple of weeks. Now, I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but we're committed now. There's no point in turning around. We're going to do a course on Christian ethics, and we're putting it together ourselves with the title, What Would Jesus Think? It's going to be on Zoom once again, where all our courses have been. And it's going to start on Thursday the 20th of January, so 2 weeks today actually, and in the evening. I can't show you the advert, but it is all on our website. We're going to have 9 sessions running, and we don't know the order yet. That will come out soon. And the sessions are making Christian choices, life and death issues, environment, racism and equality, evil, suffering, sexuality, science and politics. And we could easily just all get together and give our own opinion about what we think it all means, because, hey, that's easy, isn't it? But we want to do it from a biblical perspective and from the eyes of Jesus. So we have got some fantastic people to help us give interviews on each subject, and we're referring back to Scripture and looking at what does the Bible say about these things. Not what do I say about them, what do I think now in 2022, but what does the Bible say about them? What does Jesus say about them, and what would he think about what's happening now? So it's a different take on things, but it's I think really important to look at as well, because we always get caught up in our own opinions and forget to look at God actually and about what he's saying about it all. So
that's right. And again, it's an illustration of the vision statement that we want to be biblical. We want to be biblical in our thinking about modern day ethical issues as well, and some of those are really challenging for people because of their circumstances, family and friends. Let's go on a journey together and discover more of what Jesus might think. So sign up for the course. Let us know, and we'd love to have you along.
We will, and we'll emphasise at the time. Actually, it's always good to give our own opinions of what we think, but actually, what we want you to do is give your opinion on what you think Scripture means, rather than because we don't want people to get into an argument and fall out over things. Politics is sort of very topical, obviously, but it's not about that. It's about learning back from the Bible. This is a Christian course. So it's important to remember that. Get in touch if you want to join the long list of people coming along, and that would be great. We were going to have a church family meeting at the end of the month, an in-person one after the service on the 30th, hopefully involving a lunch, as we did back in October or November last year, but we've decided to change that slightly, haven't we, Martin?
We decided, because of the pandemic and concerns about the virus, to do it online. We're going to do it on Zoom on the what's the date, Phil?
Oh, it's here. Sorry, 13th is it? No, sorry, Wednesday the 2nd of February.
Wednesday the 2nd of February at 8:00 on Zoom. But we'll also, Phil and I will be doing it from the church, and if anybody wanted to come who's not online to be able to be there, you'd be very welcome to join us here at the church. And we will try to, because we want to be hybrid in that way, and we want to be as inclusive as we can, just to pray together about the work of the church, the work of the kingdom, and to just to think together about some things.
And it's a church family meeting, so it's not something we'd be projecting online. This won't be going on Facebook and YouTube just for viewing. We want you to be part of it. So that's why you've got the option of either joining us on Zoom if you've got the technology, or just coming to church and being blessed to be here. And you can do either or. It would be lovely to see you, of course. So that's Wednesday the 2nd of February at 8 p.m. We'll have the heating on because it's getting cold.
And because we're all getting cold, we thought the guys could really do with a hot curry.
Amen.
So we're going to have
no, later, sorry.
We're going to have a men's curry evening. When's that, Phil?
The day before that meeting was supposed to happen. So Saturday the 29th of January at 7:30 here at OBC. We've got a really lovely evening lined up, actually. It's not just the curry. The curry's great. Fellowship is fantastic, and to be with each other is, of course, what we've missed so much. But we're going to hear from a friend of mine who's at Spurgeon studying with me, named David Haywood. Now, he's the minister in training at Tunbridge Wells Baptist Church, so not too far away. His previous role, prior to the calling of ministry, was the last 21 years, I believe, being the aide to the last 3 mayors of London. So that would be Ken, Boris and Sadiq. And I've spoken to him a number of times about his previous employment, and he's a fascinating friend. He's got some great stories to tell. I think he's actually thinking of writing a book about it as well, because he really has lived the life, and he's a brilliant Christian friend of mine. So I encourage you to come along and hear from him as he shares with us on that day. It's £12 per person, so I don't think it's too bad. That includes a curry from a restaurant, the Raj Doot in Petswood, and drinks as well. And then some lovely time of fellowship together. Yeah, Saturday the 29th. Yeah. We've already got, I think, 20 odd signed up, and we hope that continues and probably doubles over the next week or two.
I really look forward to that.
You do, yeah.
And to hearing David, as really, he will have some stories to tell, having been aide to those 3 mayors.
Yeah, he will, yeah, absolutely. And we're getting it from, the Raj Doot in Petswood is where we're getting our curry from. They famously have named a dish after the senior minister here, the Raj Travers.
Yeah. Yes, I've had Raj Travers, and I really recommend it.
It's a good dish.
It's on the hot side.
It's
really good.
But then people say you're on the hot side.
Yeah,
don't they?
I told them in there when I went in there with you, I think. You've used my name. Does that mean I get it free? But they said no.
No, it doesn't. Rightly so as well. Yeah. So already, as you see in the year starting, we've got lots of things happening, and I know from speaking to Michael, our youth worker, and David, our children and families workers, they're working really hard to put different and new things together to be inclusive of everyone, really. And we've got so much more to look forward to at the church. There is a baptism service coming up on the 13th of March. I still don't think I'm allowed to tell you who it is, actually.
Okay.
So, that's something we are really excited for, and other people coming into membership soon as well. Yes. Family services coming up as well, where we can welcome our Girls and Boys Brigade in. So there's just so much going on. It's a really exciting time here.
It is, and it's the week of prayer for Christian unity. We've got our missionaries from Bangladesh coming to visit us, and so much going on. And in that way, we really need to pray for God's work. And I really encourage you, if you care about the work here at OBC and the work that we're trying to do for God, please pray for it. Not just individuals that need prayer, which is really important, of course, but pray for the ministry and the mission of the church, that God's will might be done, and that we might see his glory here and bless many people.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you're watching this today, it's Thursday, or prior to live worship on Sunday morning, we just want you to know how much we love you, and we want God's blessing for you. And we do honestly mean it when we say get in touch. It's a real pleasure, honestly, to hear from people who've been blessed by the services in one way or another, and we may not know you. So get in touch. Just call us up or send the office an email. All of the details are on our website. And it would just be great to hear from the people, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a great joy.
Take care, everyone.
Bless you.